course, we've got the single wall coal cracker bushcraft water bottle, stainless steel. This is single wall so that I can use it to actually boil water. Another way that I can purify water besides the Sawyer filter. It also is a way to just simply carry water. It's something that I can use for a number of uses. I typically try and get them with a metal lid because I worry about these getting too hot. I can't put this over the fire. I have to figure out a way to hang this. Again, with the wire or the toggle I showed you, I can hang this over a fire or set it in the fire and let it boil the water so that it's purified. That's a great resource. Additionally, I include a nestling cup that this bushcraft bottle will go into, and that nestling cup also includes a lid, so I have yet another way to heat water, whether I'm heating that water to put into my freeze-dried food or into tea that I'm making out of pine boughs, or whether I'm just simply trying to purify water. I have a cup that I can put near a fire and not end up with a lot of embers in it. Great little resource. In this, I also include an emergency blanket, just the old Mylar, inexpensive emergency blankets. Now, these aren't great for trying to wrap around you to sleep with. In an emergency, if you've been in a flood, they throw these around you for a few minutes to keep you warm. In the back of an ambulance, they may have a bunch of these to keep for people. They aren't that great for a long-term use. It's not something you want to snuggle up with in the middle of the night and sleep with, but I'll show you in a video that we'll put together about how to set up a camp with this whole thing. One of the ways that you can use this is essentially as a lean-to that will, number one, keep water off from you using a ridge line made out of either the bank liner or the paracord. We can set up a lean-to, and then if we put a fire in front of that lean-to with a backstop on it, a pile of logs or some rocks, so that it reflects the heat into this, because it's set up at a 45-degree angle, will angle that heat down to you and keep you much warmer than it ever would if you try and sleep with it, which you'll never sleep with it because they make so much noise. It'll probably make too much noise even as a lean-to, but it will provide you shelter from the storm, as well as a reflective surface that will create a warmer environment for you to sleep in. Along those same lines, I include a pocket poncho. Again, this isn't a multi-day use poncho. This is a poncho that will keep you out of a rain squall, but it also can be, they tend to be kind of hooked along the sides. You can pull those carefully apart and you end up with a nice little tarp that combined with this emergency blanket, you've got a fairly substantial, almost a tent, a shelter that if you're a shelter that if you're in really bad weather can keep a lot of the elements off from you, in addition to simply using it as a poncho. Coming back to water purification, we've got the Sawyer filter. We've got a couple of ways to boil water. For the quick down and dirty, I'm on the march. I need to get someplace quick. I don't want to start a fire, and I don't have time to filter the water. I've got some aqua tabs in here. There's looks like 5 of these. Those 5 will give me 5 bottles of water that I can consume over that process in that quick emergency situation. I have a whistle, a signal whistle, very loud. We'll talk about what that's good for. You know, if I'm lost, I can yell all day and lose my voice, or as I've been talking this long, or I can use this whistle and use a lot less energy, not lose my voice. And it's a sound that's unlike anything in nature, so people are going to be able to find me a lot louder than my yelling as well. I have a pencil with some duct tape on it. Pencil's nice because if I want to write a note, and I've shown in previous videos where I simply carry some coffee filters, and that's another thing that's nice to stick in this whole setup. A couple of coffee filters fit in this without any extra room. I can write a note on one of those coffee filters and say, you know, I've been here, and people, and the date and the time, and people will know that, you know, if I'm lost, they're looking for me, they can find that. Duct tape will fix anything, and so I keep some duct tape. You can see there's a theme with this particular setup of hunter orange, or of that blaze orange, because this is a setup for an emergency where I want to be found. We could do the same thing in all of these things with pieces that were all subdued colors or even camouflage colors if I wanted to do that. Did most of a video on Carmex and the value it has. It is a nice salve for chafing. It's a nice salve for minor abrasions. It's a great thing to have to put on your lips, but it's also a great fire extender. I put that on some bear moss. I put that on a coffee filter, and I have a great way for that not only to burn longer, but to burn hotter. I've got here, these aren't fantastic, but they do work, and it's just a simple, very light implement that is not going to take up much room, and that is, I've got a wire saw. I can cut off small branches. If I need to make something a little more precision, I can use this to cut up some wood, and we'll show how to use one of these in a video. But just a nice little implement that takes up very little room that we can put in this. This is a carabiner, consistent with the logo for Sage the Sawtooth Bushcraft. It's the Bigfoot logo, but it is to attach a number of these items to the outside of this this bag so that they are available when I need them. That, in combination with this keychain loop, I can use to hang a number of these implements on, including my P38, a can opener. I'll show how to use that in a future video. I have in this as well the idea that I do like to eat. You can tell by my girth that I don't pass up meals very often, and I like to eat MREs, and so I like a long spoon. This is simply a titanium spoon. It will nestle down in with this into the bag, and that way I've got a way to stir my tea, to eat my rabbit stew that I make in my cup, whatever it is. This will provide me just a way to do that, and so we will include that as well. I'm down to the last couple of things. This is an item that I've included. I don't know how valuable it is, but I think it is something that can be used. I'm working on learning how to use it a little better, and that is, it's called a yo-yo reel. And what happens is, you do it right, it latches into the side of that, and it is spring-loaded so that if something pulls on this, it pulls it in. I can use this for passive fishing. I can stick it on a branch, stick some of that monofilament fish line on it, either fashion a hook from natural materials or materials I have, or if I need to add some fish hooks to this setup. But I can set this up, and when the fish hits, it pulls that in and holds it for me. Great resource for fishing. Also, I believe for very small animals, it could also be used for a snare setup. Again, lightweight, not a lot of room. I'll place it in one of these Sage Sawtooth linen bags, and that will provide me with just one more resource if I'm in a really difficult situation. And finally, I have a signal mirror, and you know how to use it. You can send signals miles away. We'll take that out of the case that it's in. Try to do that without bending it too badly. You can see in addition to my Benchmade that I carry in my pocket, whenever I'm in the woods, I also carry my Mora knife, and that provides me with a quick way to access. So there's a signal mirror. These are nice because one side is already polished and ready, but this will get scratched up. The other side has some plastic over the top of it. Just leave that plastic on there so that as this side starts getting so that it's really not reflecting the way it needs to, I've got this side for the reflective surface. Now, this is like the magnifying glass. It's also useful because I can look at my ugly face, which is something I'd rather not do, but I also can use it to see things that I couldn't see otherwise. If I've got an injury to my head or my ears, I've got something that I can use that for. So these are the implements that go into the Mary Poppins bag, and it looks like quite a lot of stuff, but trust me, when I'm done, it'll all go into a package. It'll all go into this, and we will be able to then pull them out and show you how to use each one of those. I started putting all of this together in the bag and realized I'd left something out. This looks like a waterproof match container, which it is. It's got a small ferrocerium rod on the bottom, which is so encased in epoxy, I don't know whether you could ever use it. Excuse me. But what I have in here isn't matches. I have in here one of the other important things in life, and that is these are little towelettes, and the purpose that I have them in here for is mainly as toilet paper. There are 8 of these towelettes. They're about the size of a normal sized paper towel. They're tougher than a paper towel. You drop just a drop or two of water on this little capsule, and almost immediately it opens up, and you'll have then a damp towel that you can use for paper towels. This little carrier holds 8 of those. So I've got, if I'm careful, close to a week's worth, or a few days at least, worth of toilet paper that I can use, and or I can use it for cleaning myself up. All number of things. Very good resource. That is also one of the main things that you got to deal with when you're on the out of doors. Clinton Miner from Sawtooth Bushcraft. This has been a little bit longer video, but in order to explain all of these things so that the people who are purchasing these setups know what they're for and can start using them or using implements like them, so that when they're in that emergency situation, they have that skill. That's what this is all about. This package, because I've purchased quality items, because I have included things that aren't simply run-of-the-mill, this is not an inexpensive setup. I sell these for $350. If you price out what I have in this, that is a bargain, especially with the way I've put it together, so you have it all in one place so you can use it and go forward with the things that you do. If you don't want to purchase one of the ones that I've put together, or if you simply want to put together one with a few quirks or differences that you may want, I will include links to all of these items so you can order them individually and have them for yourself. This is the basis of preparedness. As we say here at Sawtooth Bushcraft, if you're prepared, you're never really lost. With this, even if you are temporarily dislocated, if you are exploring further than you'd expected, if you're in a situation where, though you don't want to call yourself lost, you are not sure where you are or how you're going to get out of your situation, this will provide you with a number of things that will make your life a lot better and a lot easier. And again, if you're prepared, then you're really never lost. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching these videos. If you want to purchase one of these, contact me at cherrygulch@yahoo.com. I'll put this as a link in this. We will ship them anywhere in the United States for that $350, and that's the continental United States. It'd be a little bit more to go to Alaska or Hawaii, but we'd be happy to do that. And if it's international, we'll simply figure out the additional cost and get them to you. Again, if you don't want to buy the entire package put together from me, I'll have the links to the various items so you can put together your own tailor-made custom setup, and you can be prepared for any situation. Thank you.